Hello. Have you ever wondered why some people achieve their goals while others do not? How often do you set ambitious goals for yourself but never reach the finish line? Perhaps the reason lies not in a lack of motivation or talent but in a lack of discipline. Discipline is the hidden ingredient that distinguishes those who achieve success from those who give up halfway. Today we will talk about how to develop discipline in just 30 days. I will show you a step-by-step plan that will not only help you become more organized but may also completely change your life. Imagine yourself in a month, confident, goal-oriented, and ready to conquer new heights. All of this will be possible if you learn to manage your discipline. And before we begin, subscribe to the channel and like this video. This is your first step on the path to building discipline. Many of us believe that success in life depends on talent or luck, but in reality the main factor is discipline. Look at the people who have achieved outstanding results in sports, business, or art. Let's take Elon Musk as an example. A person who not only dreams of the future but also actively builds it. He manages several large companies such as Tesla and SpaceX, while also working on artificial intelligence development and charity. How does he manage to combine all of this? The answer is simple: discipline. It's not about working 100 hours a week, but about following your principles and plans every day, despite the challenges. Let me share my story. A few years ago, I realized that my life was going in circles. I set goals, but rarely followed through to the end. There were times when I thought the problem was a lack of talent or energy. But looking back, I see that what I lacked was discipline. I tried to become more productive, but every time it got difficult, I gave up. One day I realized that if I continued in the same way, nothing would change. And this realization was painful. It was then that I decided it was time to change something. I started small. I established simple rules and tried to stick to them every day. One of the first steps was waking up early and planning the day. Gradually, discipline became a habit. And over time I began to notice how small daily efforts started to accumulate into significant achievements. Now I understand that the secret to success is not in one bright leap, but in the constant work on oneself. It lies in the ability to overcome one's weaknesses and not give up, even when the results are not immediately visible. Discipline is the key to not just dreaming but also turning your dreams into reality. Day 1 to 7. Beginning. Setting goals. The first step on the path to discipline is to understand why you need it. As Simon Sinek wrote in his book, start with the question why. Before doing anything, it is important to realize your motives. Without a clear goal, discipline loses its meaning. Ask yourself, why is discipline important to you? What do you want to achieve? Let's be honest, discipline without a goal is like a ship without a compass. You are moving, but where to? When you have a clear why, every step becomes conscious. This why helps not only to start but also to continue when difficulties arise. Many people start working on their discipline, but quickly give up because their goal is not clear enough. For example, you want to become more productive at work. This is a good goal, but think deeper about why it is important to you. Perhaps you want to develop your career to provide a better future for your family. Or perhaps you are striving for a sense of success and self-actualization. When your goal is clear and deeply personal, it becomes a powerful source of motivation. Take an example from Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl, who endured the horrors of concentration camps, wrote that the most important thing in life is to find meaning. When a person knows what they are living for, they are capable of overcoming any difficulties. The same applies to discipline. If you understand what you are working on yourself for, it gives you strength and resilience in difficult moments. Day 8 on to 14. Creating structure and systems. After you have clarified your goal, the next step is to create a system that will support you on this path. Discipline is not just willpower, it is about creating conditions under which the right actions become easier and more natural. Imagine you have decided to start running in the mornings. In the first few days you may feel enthusiastic, but what will happen after a week? Difficulties will start to arise, getting up early will become harder, the weather won't always be suitable, and you will begin to look for excuses. How can you avoid this? The solution is simple. Create a system that makes your path to the goal easier. For example, lay out your sports clothes and sneakers in a visible place the night before. Set your alarm clock in another room so that you have to get out of bed to turn it off. Prepare an interesting podcast in advance to listen to while you run. These simple steps reduce the likelihood that you will succumb to laziness. Days 15 to 21. Overcoming difficulties. Now that you are halfway through, the most challenging phase begins, the struggle against resistance. Regardless of how motivated you are, it is at this stage that most people begin to experience doubt, fatigue, and temptation. Regardless of how motivated you are, it is at this stage that most people begin to experience doubts, fatigue, and the temptation to revert to old habits. This is a normal part of the process. I remember that in the third week of my discipline experiment I started to feel tired. It seemed that the efforts were not yielding visible results. Getting up in the mornings became harder, and the thought, maybe I'll skip tomorrow, started to appear more often. It was a critical moment, but then I remembered a lesson that helped me move forward. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl said that a person can endure any hardship if they have a purpose. I forced myself to focus not on short-term feelings, but on long-term results. This helped me overcome the crisis. Days 22 to 28. Time for results. In the 4th week, you will start to notice how discipline works for you. These may not be grand achievements, but you will see the first fruits of your efforts. You may become more organized, start completing more tasks, or notice that your body has become stronger and more resilient if you work on your physical fitness. Remember the example of Arnold Schwarzenegger. In his youth, he set a goal to become a bodybuilding champion. Every day, despite the difficulties, he dedicated himself to training and self-discipline. He said that his successes in sports and life were not just the result of dreams, but the outcome of daily efforts that accumulated over time. At this stage, you should also remember that discipline is a process, and its results may accumulate slowly, but surely. Day 29 to 30. The last days of your 30-day journey are a time to solidify new habits and reflect on what you have achieved. Now discipline will become something more familiar to you. This doesn't mean that everything will always be easy, but you will understand that controlling your actions and directing them towards your goals is quite realistic and beneficial. Recently, my friend decided to radically change his life. He always said that he wanted to become more organized and successful, but he kept postponing action. One day he set a goal to work on a small project every day. For 30 days he did not allow himself any excuses. There were no instant or drastic changes. But he noticed that following the plan became easier with each passing day. By the end of the month, he had developed the habit of seeing things through to completion. And this has become his new norm. As the samurai Miyamoto Musashi once said, "Small victories lead to great ones. You have laid the foundation, and now your task is to maintain it." Continue to take small steps every day towards your goals. Discipline is a key skill that can change your life. It opens the doors to success, helps overcome obstacles, and allows you to move towards your goals, even when it seems impossible. By completing this 30-day journey, you have already taken a significant step towards becoming the best version of yourself. Do not stop at what you have achieved. Use the lessons you have learned to continue growing and reaching new heights. Now I want to ask you, what goal do you want to achieve through discipline? Write in the comments what habits you plan to develop over the next 30 days. And remember, this journey begins with the first step you can take right now. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and join our Telegram channel via the link in the description. There, we all grow together. That's all. Goodbye, everyone.